No one's gonna believe me.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Charlie. In this video, I'll be doing a full breakdown of Welcome to Derry Episode 1. This new HBO series serves as a prequel to the two IT movies, expanding on the Stephen King universe, which, as you know, often has interconnected stories. I'll go over all the Easter eggs, references, and WTF moments as we explore how deeply the show ties into the larger King multiverse, including possible connections to the Dark Tower, the God Turtle Matarin, and the Crimson King. Don't worry if you haven't read The Dark Tower or seen the movie, I'll explain all those references as we go. The series is designed to be mostly self-contained within the universe of the two IT movies, but it still delves into deeper mythology, particularly the origins of Pennywise the Clown. The show will explore how the entity from Todash Darkness came into our dimension, how he evolved into Pennywise, and why he eventually chose that identity. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If people enjoy the series, I'll keep making episode breakdowns each week. Like many of Stephen King's stories, Welcome to Derry features crossovers. For example, Dick Hallorann from The Shining appears here. He's the bartender from the Overlook Hotel who also has the Shining ability. All of this connects back to the Dark Tower, which ties together the entire Penn universe and explains overarching concepts like the Deadlights, the same cosmic energy that powers Pennywise. The show was developed by Andy and Barbara Muschietti, who directed the IT movies. They revealed that Welcome to Derry is told in reverse order, showing 3 of Pennywise's 27-year feeding cycles around 1908, 1935, and 1962, and even flashing back millions of years to when he first entered our dimension. Much of the story draws inspiration from the interlude chapters in Mike Hanlon's journals, as seen in the IT films, where he documents Derry's disturbing history and the origins of Pennywise. One major theme the series explores is how Pennywise became intertwined with the town itself. Derry is, in a sense, part of him. This connection explains why, at the end of IT Chapter 2, the town partially collapses when Pennywise is destroyed. The episode is appropriately titled Pilot, both as a nod to Mike Hanlon's grandfather, Leroy, an Air Force pilot, and as a meta-reference to television pilot episodes that test whether a show will continue. Leroy and his family become central figures in this prequel. The episode opens with Maddie Clements, a minor character from King's original novel, who becomes one of Pennywise's early victims. The timeline has been slightly shifted from the book to align with the 1962 setting. The opening scene features The Music Man, a movie that had just been released that year, and the song Trouble, which cleverly parallels Pennywise's arrival in Derry. The song warns the townsfolk of danger, just as Pennywise is preparing to prey on them once again. This first episode represents the beginning of one of Pennywise's 27-year feeding cycles, leading up to his full reappearance in 1963, his last before the events of the IT movies. We're also introduced to several new characters created for the series, including Hank Rogan, who runs the town's movie theater, and his daughter Ronnie, who becomes part of a new losers club in the 1960s. The Rogans, along with other local families, show how Pennywise's influence spreads, darkening people's hearts and amplifying their fears. A key concept from both the novel and films is that Pennywise feeds on fear, not flesh, though he often manifests as a physical predator. The more terror he creates, the more he feeds. That's why he manipulates Derry's residents, pushing them toward violence and madness. He can warp reality itself within the town, much like Scarlet Witch's powers in WandaVision, giving him godlike control over space and time within Derry's borders. Outside those limits, however, his power fades. This explains why Pennywise never leaves Derry. The town is his hunting ground, where fear and chaos are abundant. Like Mike Hanlon's slaughterhouse metaphor in the films, it's easy prey, shooting fish in a barrel. Every 27 years, he wakes up, feasts, and goes back to hibernation, maintaining a cycle that has lasted for millions of years. The episode also plants early hints as to how the characters will one day learn to fight him by overcoming fear and embracing courage. Maddie eventually tries to flee Derry after suffering abuse at home and emotional rejection. As he hitches a ride with the seemingly friendly family, the tone shifts to horror. Subtle signs like flies buzzing and the family's bizarre behavior reveal Pennywise's interference. He manipulates reality, possessing the family members and trapping them in an endless loop past the Welcome to Derry sign. In a grotesque twist, he replaces the newborn baby with himself, symbolizing his rebirth after another 27-year slumber. The car crash that follows confirms this wasn't just a hallucination. Pennywise truly kills them all. After this gruesome opening, the story jumps ahead 4 months to April 1962. We meet Phil, who tracks military aircraft near the local Air Force base. The show hints that the U.S. military has been aware of Derry's supernatural phenomena for years, investigating or even attempting to weaponize it during the Cold War. This is where we're introduced to Mike Hanlon's grandfather, Leroy, the titular pilot, and his friend Polly, both veterans of the Korean War. Their dialogue about surviving war only to face Derry's horrors foreshadows the Count's true danger. The base itself, a strategic air command post, represents Cold War paranoia, but it's also symbolic of Derry being the tip of the spear for supernatural evil. We also meet a familiar face, Dick Hallorann from The Shining. At this point in his life, he resents his psychic shining ability, but still senses that something dark is awakening in Derry. Leroy chooses to move into the town instead of staying on base, a decision that, in hindsight, seals their fate, since Pennywise's power doesn't extend beyond Derry. Back in town, we see a high school sign featuring a cartoon turtle, a playful nod to Mandarin, the cosmic turtle who represents good in Stephen King's mythology, and once helped the original Losers Club defeat it. These early turtle references suggest we might eventually see Mandarin appear in some form later in the series. We're then introduced to the 1960s version of the Losers Club, including Lily and Marge. Lily begins having visions of Maddie, her closest friend. Meanwhile, Teddy and Phil discuss life beyond Earth, an indirect reference to Pennywise being an otherworldly being. Teddy, whose last name is Uris, appears to be Stan Uris's uncle. His family, the Shaws, tied directly into Stan's ancestry from the movies. While the Air Force doesn't literally have Pennywise on ice, they are shown monitoring strange phenomena around Derry in an X-Files style subplot. There's also a possible visual reference to the Crimson King, the ultimate antagonist in the Dark Tower, through the imagery of a woman in a devil costume. Though we'll unlikely see him directly, the Crimson King's existence adds depth to the series' cosmic horror connections. James Remar appears as General Shaw, commander of the Air Force Base, while Dick Hallorann's ominous expressions make clear he senses Pennywise's influence returning. The show balances supernatural dread with Cold War paranoia, creating a unique blend of military thriller and horror. We get some fun Easter eggs too. Space Cadet comics and Creature from the Black Lagoon posters nod to both 1950s sci-fi and Pennywise's alien origins. Teddy, an aspiring comic book artist, draws a spaceship, a metaphor for the asteroid that brought Pennywise to Earth. Meanwhile, Lily begins experiencing bathroom visions reminiscent of Beverly's blood-filled scenes in It, hearing Maddie's voice echoing through the drain. As the Losers Club begins forming, Lily leads the group in researching Derry's past at the library, just like Ben did in the original movies. They uncover old newspapers documenting the town's tragedies, all linked to Pennywise's 27-year cycles. Each clue deepens their awareness of the evil lurking beneath Derry and foreshadows their eventual confrontation. Meanwhile, Leroy learns more about the secretive Special Weapons Division, which hints at the government's knowledge of Pennywise. There's also a clear meta tie-in to the Flash movie, also directed by Andy Muschietti, through Teddy's comic book collection featuring The Flash and Detective Comics number 40, the first appearance of Clayface, a shapeshifter, much like Pennywise. Later, Pennywise begins directly tormenting Teddy, making him see horrifying illusions like a lampshade made of human skin, which appears to be Maddie's face. Lily and the others continue to experience visions and nightmares, drawing them closer together. Dick Hallorann, thanks to his shining sensitivity, becomes one of the only adults who truly believe what the kids are experiencing. The group eventually visits the town's movie theater, the same one Richie Tozier frequented decades later, where Pennywise uses the film projector to terrorize them, mirroring the iconic scene from It Chapter 1. They see visions of Maddie and the family Pennywise killed, and finally, Pennywise appears himself in another monstrous form, attacking them. By the end of the episode, it seems everyone except for Lily and Ronnie has been killed, leaving them as the sole survivors. The episode closes with a teaser for what's next. The Native American tribe mentioned in IT Chapter 2 will appear in later episodes, revealing more about their ancient battles with Pennywise and expanding the mythology around the Deadlights. Dick Hallorann's shining powers will also become more prominent as he helps the survivors understand the true nature of the creature haunting Derry. Based on the footage shown in the season trailer, it looks like Pennywise's full clown form won't appear until the middle of the season. Until then, we'll see his earlier monstrous incarnations. The series is building tension slowly, setting up both human drama and cosmic horror in equal measure. Episode 2 will premiere early on Friday for Halloween weekend. If the series continues to be well received, I'll post new breakdowns each week covering all the Easter eggs, lore connections, and hidden details. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.